First, strategic planning. Strategic planning is the process by which top management determines overall organizational purpose and objectives and how they are achieved. There are 4 steps in strategic planning. Let's move to the next slide for more details. As you can see in the picture, the first step is determining the organizational mission, which is decide what is to be accomplished. Second, assessing the organization and its environment. For external part, you need to determine external threats and opportunities. For internal part, you need to determine strengths and weaknesses within the organization. That's what we call as SWOT. Next is setting specified objectives or direction, which means you need to specify corporate level objectives into challenging but attainable, measurable, time-specific, and documented. Lastly, determining strategies to accomplish these objectives and implement the strategies. Human resource planning is the systematic process of matching the internal and external supply of people with job openings anticipated in the organization over a specific period of time. In human resource planning, you need to focus human resource requirements, compare requirements and availability, and focus human resource availability. In forecasting human resource requirements, you need to determine the number, skill, and location of employees the organization will need at future dates to meet its goals. In forecasting human resource availability, the manager needs to determine whether the firm can secure employees with the necessary skills and from which sources to obtain the employees. There are 3 techniques for forecasting human resource requirements, which are zero-based forecast, bottom-up forecast, and relationship between volume of sales and number of workers required. Zero-based forecasting uses the current level of staffing as the starting point for determining the future staffing needs. Essentially, the same procedures is used for human resource planning as for zero-based budgeting, whereby each budget must be justified again each year. If an employee retires, is fired, or leaves the firm for any reason, the position is not automatically filled. Instead, an analysis is made to determine whether the firm can justify filling it. In the bottom forecasting technique, each successive level of the organization, starting with the lowest, forecast its requirements to provide an aggregate of employment needs. This process is often highly interactive in that estimated requires from the previous level are discussed, negotiated, and re-estimated with the next level of management as the forecast moves upward to the organization. Historically, one of the most useful predictors of employment levels is sales volume. The relationship between demand and the number of employees needed is a positive one. Using such a method, managers can approximate the number of employees required at different demand levels.
Hey, my name is Ling Jie. For now, I will continue the presentation. First, from this slide, we can note that a shortage of worker forecaster often demand innovative recruiting. Workers in a high demand situation may be attracted by compensation incentives such as high salary, flexible working hours, and telecommuting. At the same time, special training programs may offer skill training to attract candidates. Another method is to modify selection standards, such as hiring an inexperienced worker and training him to do the job. Next, when there is a surplus of employees, what will the company do? When a comparison of requirements and availabilities indicates a worker surplus will result, most companies consider alternatives to lay off, but downsizing may ultimately be required. Although layoff can be necessary to cut costs, but there are other options. First, one of the alternatives is a restricted hiring policy, which reduce the workforce by not replacing employees as people leave. In addition, alternative methods of layoff include encouraging employees to retire early, encouraging workers to use vacation time, and reducing full-time employees to 30 hours a week without reducing health benefits. Moreover, some companies may offer job sharing arrangement. This arrangement allows the organization to retain senior talent instead of lay off. Besides, some companies may reduce the work week from 5 to 4 days, that's by reducing wages by 20%, offer an unpaid holiday option and sabbatical for selected employees, also the alternative method to lay off. Now we will discuss about succession planning. Succession planning is the process of ensuring that qualified persons are available to assume key managerial positions once the positions are vacant. The goal of succession planning is to help ensure a smooth transition and operational efficiency, but the transition is often difficult. After that, what is the meaning of recruitment? Recruitment is the process of attracting enough individuals on a timely basis with appropriate qualification to apply for jobs with an organization. When talking about the recruitment process, we immediately think of some activities such as analyzing the requirements of a specific job, encouraging candidates to apply for jobs, screening applicants, and hiring selected candidates to become new employees of the organization. Now in this figure, we can see the ways of the recruitment process. The recruitment process is divided into two ways. It is internal and external. Managers can consider whether they are qualified employees in the company or whether it is necessary to look to external sources. Next, we will explore some external factors in the environment. One of the environments of recruitment is labor market condition. Particularly important to the success of recruitment is the demand for and supply of specific skills in the labor market. For example, if the demand for a particular skill is high relative to the supply, it may require a hard effort. Secondly, the most successful recruitment methods will depend to some extent on whether the individual recruiter is an active or passive job seeker. Active job seekers will find jobs quickly because they actively put their names and resume into the job market to find new positions. Moreover, legal considerations are also part of the environment of recruitment. The recruiting process can create potential problems if organizations do not make a real effort to ensure non-discriminatory practices when hiring. Besides that, recruitment methods are the specific means used to attract potential employees to the firms, such as online recruiting. Finding good sources of candidates and using suitable recruitment methods are essential to maximizing a firm's recruiting efficiency and effectiveness. And the recruitment sources are the places where qualified candidates are located, such as colleges, university, or competitor firms. Plus, organizations can use a variety of internal recruitment methods to fill vacancies. Useful tools for internal recruitment include HR database, job posting, job bidding, and employee referrals. Human resources database allow organizations to determine whether current employees have the qualification to filling open positions. Job posting is a procedure used to notify employees of the existence of job vacancy within the company. Job bidding is a process that allows employees who believe they are qualified to apply for a posted position, and the employee referrals involve an employee of the company recommending a friend or associate as a possible member of the company. That's all for my part. Now I will pass to my member Tiwa. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Tiva Darshini Selvan, and I will discuss about external requirement sources. External requirement is needed to fill entry-level jobs to hire employees with skills not possessed by current employees, and to find employees with different background to increase diversity in the firm. External requirements span a wide range of sources. Organizational concern with recruiting clerical and other entry-level employees often depend on high school and vocational school. Some companies even work directly with schools to ensure a constant supply of trained individuals with specific job skills. In some areas, companies even loan employees to school to assist in the training programs. Many community colleges are sensitive to the specific employment needs to their local labor market and produce students with the marketable skills. Career center often provide a place for employees to contact students, thereby facilitating the requirement process. Colleges and universities represent a major requirement sources for many organizations. Organizations typically find potential professional, technical, and management employees in this institution. Career service director, faculty, and administrator can be helpful to organizations in their search for qualified recruit. The next one, why external requirement is needed. External requirement is needed to fill entry-level jobs, to hire employees with skills not possessed by the current employees, and to find employees with different backgrounds to increase diversity in the firm. So let's move to the next one, external requirement method. There are two types, online and mobile recruiting. The world of recruiting via online and mobile technology is moving at light speed. Online recruiting has truly revolutionized the way companies recruit employees and the way job seekers search for and apply for jobs. More and more people are adopting mobile technology, and many organizations are trying to figure out how to use mobile devices in the recruiting process. Recruiters use mobile apps to post jobs, run text message-based recruiting campaigns, create online communities for potential new hires to learn about their companies, monitor social networks for news about industry they hire for, and keep in touch with staff and outside agencies. Most companies currently post jobs on their corporate career website. Internet recruiters, also referred to as cyber recruiters, are responsible for monitoring and coordinating these activities for their organization. A virtual job fair is an online recruiting method used by an employer or group of employers to attract a large number of applicants. Online job fairs are very cost effective and can attract more potential applicants than an in-person job fair held at one location. Corporate career website lists the company's position available and provide a way for applicants to apply for jobs. They have become a major resource for both job seekers and companies recruiting new employees. A career website should be used as a selling device that promotes the company to prospective job candidates and fully describes the specific opportunity available. Weblogs or blogs have changed the way in which individuals access information about jobs and companies. Google or a blog search engine such as technority.com can be used to find these valuable. All you have to do is type in a key path like marketing.job to find them. The blogs often have names like attorneyjobs.com and salesjobs.com. Some employees and employment agencies have also discovered that blogging is a way to do detailed and steely background checks on potential candidates. General purpose job boards such as monstream.com and careerbuilder.com attract a large number of applicants. These job boards are best for job seekers in professions that experience high turnover, like sales, but are often less effective for highly qualified applicants or those looking for work in a smaller industry. Although online methods have greatly impacted how recruiting is done, traditional methods are still used extensively. Advertising communicates the firm's employment needs to the public through media such as radio, newspaper, television, and industry publication. The firm's previous experience with the various media should suggest the most effective approach for specific types of jobs. Although few individuals base their decision to change jobs on advertising, ads create awareness, generate interest, and encourage a prospect to seek more information about the firm and the job opportunity that it provides. A traditional common form of advertising that provides broad coverage at a relative low cost is the newspaper ad. Firms using the newspaper ad attempt to appeal to the self-interest of prospective employees, emphasizing the job's unique qualities. Recently, the use of newspaper advertising has declined because other recruiting methods are more effective and less expensive. The first one is the private employment agency, often called headhunters, are the best known for recruiting white-collar employees in exchange for a fee paid by the employers. Many private employment agencies often specialize in filling a particular niche in the job market where top candidates are in high demand. The next one, the public employment agencies are operated by each state but receive overall policy direction or from the U.S. Employment Service. Public employment agencies have become increasingly involved in matching people with technical, professional, and managerial positions. One notable advantage is that they provide their services without charge to either the employers or the prospective employee. And then the executive search firm are organizations that locate experienced professionals and executives when other sources prove inadequate. The key benefit of executive search firm is that they target ideal candidates. In addition, the search firm can often find and recruit those highly qualified individuals who are not actively looking for a job. The search firm's task is to present top-tier candidates, and it is then up to the company to decide whom to hire. Even recruiting involves having recruiters go to and sponsor events that are attended by individuals the company is seeking. Cisco system pioneered event recruiting as a novel requirement approach for recruiting programs in Silicon Valley. The choice events to attend and sponsor have been marathon and bike races. Employers use sign-on bonuses to attract top talent, particularly in high-demand fields such as healthcare, sales, marketing, accounting, and finance. Bonuses allow a firm to pay a premium to attract individuals without dramatically upsetting its salary scale. Even as Wall Street continued to lay off workers, some firms were offering sign-on bonus for top management talent. Google has a unique way to get individuals interested in applying for technical positions. Google Code Jam is an international programming competition hosted and administered by Google. The competition began in 2003 as a means to identify top engineering talent for potential employees at Google. The competition consists of a set of algorithmic problems that must be solved in a fixed amount of time. Competitors may use any programming languages and develop environment to obtain their solution. The next type of method, tailoring requirement method to sources. Because each organization is unique, so are the types and qualification of workers needed to fill positions. To be successful, a firm must tailor its requirement source and methods to be specific needs. So let's see what are the alternative to requirement. Even when there is need for additional employees, a firm may decide against increasing the size of its regular workforce. Requirement and selection costs are significant when you consider all the related expenses. Therefore, a firm should consider alternatives carefully before engaging in requirement. Some of those alternative to requirement including promotion policies, overtime and onshoring. PFW is the policy of filling vacancy above entry-level position with current employee instead of outside hires. When an organization employee emphasizes promotion from within, employees have an incentive to strive for advancement. So this practice often improves employees' morale. Another advantage of internal requirement is that the organization is usually well aware of its employees' capabilities. A good goal would be to fill 80% of opening above entry-level position from within, but this need to be balanced against the benefit of the new ideas that external hire can bring to the organization. Most commonly used alternative to hiring new employee is having existing employee work overtime. The employers benefit by avoiding recruitment, selection and training costs, and the existing employees benefit from the increased income. Some managers believe that when employees work for unusual long periods, the company pays more and receives less when the employees become fatigued or work at a slower pace to ensure overtime.
Morning to lecturer and all my friends. My name is Chiwling, metric number 279524. Now I wanted to present about onshoring. Onshoring involves moving job not to another country but to a lower cost cities. Some company may like to offshore their job, but the government may require onshore handling of certain finance, health and defenses data. Onshoring, however, is a little useless practice, especially in tech industry such as IT, because there is not a lot of finance benefit for the business that outsources the job. Next one, I will explain employee selection process. Selection is the process of choosing the individual best suited for a particular positions and the organization. Properly matching people with the job and the organization is a goal of selection process. If individuals are overqualified, underqualified, or of any reason do not fit either the job or organization culture, they will be ineffective and probably leave the firm, voluntarily or otherwise. There are many ways to improve productivity, but none is more powerful than making a right decisions. A firm that select high quality employee will come many benefit, which recall every year the employee is on the payroll. On other hand, selecting wrong person for any job can be costly. Nowadays, with many firms having access to a same technology, people will make a real difference. The selection process may vary from company to company. This process starts with preliminary screening. Next, review of application and resume. Then they progress through a series of selection tests, one or more employment interview, and pre-employment screening including background and reference check. Notice that an applicant may be rejected during the selection progress. A good selection process results in either one or two outcomes. First, job candidates who fail to meet the standard of employment are not offered employment. Second, job candidates who do meet the standard for employment are offered employment. Preliminary screening is a process of remove unqualified individual early in the selection process. The specific information requests on an application form may vary from firm to firm, but typically include name, address, military service, education, and work history. Manager compare the information contained in a complete application to a job description to determine whether a potential match exists between the firm requirement and the applicant qualification. Several pre-printed statements are usually included on the application form. A resume is a goal-directed summary of a person's experience, education, and training developed for use in a selection process. Next one is selection test. Selection tests can be reliable and accurate means of selection qualified candidate. Organizations use tests to identify attitude and job-related skills that interview cannot be reliably recognized, and the cost of employment testing is relatively small. The disadvantages is less successful in predicting what the individual will actually do when on the job. Another, anxiety and also legal liability. Properly designed selection tests have a number of important characteristics. First, standardization is the uniformity from the procedure and condition related and administering tests. Objectively in testing occur when everyone scoring a test obtains the same result. A norm is the frame of reference for comparing an applicant performance with that of others. Reliability is the extent to which a selection test provides consistent results. Reliability data reveal the degree of confidence placed in a test. Reliability, the extent to which a test measures what is claimed to measure. Requirement for job relatedness must not have adverse impact on minority, women, and individuals with background or characteristic protected under law. Achievement test assess a person's current knowledge and skill. Cognitive ability test, a test that determines general reasoning ability, memory, vocabulary, verbal fluency, and numerical ability. Attitude tests measure how well a person can learn an accurate skill or ability. These differences, which are measurements related to cognitive ability, psychomotor ability, job knowledge, work sample, and personality. Genetic test is performed to identify predispositions to inherited disease, including cancer, heart disease, neurological disorder, and congenital disease. The second one is graph analysis, the use of handwriting analysis. The third one is polygraph test. The employment interview is a job-focused conversations in which the interviewer and applicant exchange information. The traditional employment interview is still important, however, because the applicants who reach this stage are seen as qualified, at least on paper, and want to meet a potential employee face to face. The last one I will present about content of the interview. 6 additional job-related information and example of past job-related behavior. The interviewer will focus on the following area during an interview: occupational experience, academic achievement, interpersonal skill, personal quality. During the interview, the interviewer should provide information about the company, the job, and the expectation of the positions.
Hello everyone, my name is Mo Yukun. The following content by me to show you. Let's get started. There are 4 types of interview, including unstructured, structured, behavioral, situational. There are four methods of interviewing. The first one is one-on-one interview, in which the applicant meets with the interviewer one-on-one. The second is a group interview, where several candidates interact in form of one-on-one interviewers. The third is board interview, where several form representative interview candidates at the same time. Finally, candidates are often interviewed by colleagues, subordinates, and supervisors. This is called multiple interview. This slide to show two things. First one is stress interview. Stress interview is a deliberate exercise created by the interviewer. Besides, really job purpose, also known as RGP, refer to present positive and negative information about the job in an embedded manner. Problems may arise during the interview. First, inappropriate questions. But a basic rule is to only ask questions that are relevant to the interview. The second one is permitting no job-related information. If the candidate offers unsolicited personal information that is not related to the job, the interviewer should get the conversation back to a point. The third one is interview bias, including stereotyping bias, positive halo bias, hero bias, contrast bias, premature judgment bias, and interviewer inclusion bias. Furthermore, interviewer domination, lack of training, non-verbal communication. Furthermore, interviewer domination, lack of training, non-verbal communication. I'm going to talk about when the interview is over and what to do once it is over. The interview ends when the interviewer has the necessary information and has answered the interviewer's questions. Tell the applicant that the results will be announced soon. Management must determine the applicant suitable for the position and organization. Pre-hiring screening and background checks are necessary. The first step is to determine whether the submitted information is accurate or whether important information has been not submitted. Make it clear that the main reason is to hire better employees. Observe data from a variety of sources. In addition, the intensity of the background check depends on the nature of the job opening. The selection decision and the evaluation of the effectiveness of the selection decision are the most important steps. The person who best fits the requirement of the open position and organization should be selected. Making the selection decision, medical examination, notification of candidates. In evaluation selection decision including quality of hire, time required to hire, new hire rotation, hiring manager overall satisfaction, turnover rate, cost per hire, year rate.